So Nate, I interviewed Nate 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 2 months ago, something like that. And we got a little bit into your backstory then, how you kind of got here. And I would encourage anybody at the end of this, if you enjoyed today's interview, make sure you go back and watch the other one with Nate. He dropped a lot of value in that one. And that's part of the reason we're having him back on today. But Nate, for those that maybe missed some of your origin story, can we just kind of recap that quickly? Tell us who you are, how you got into print on demand, how you got into ShineOn in particular, and kind of how we got here today.
Sure. So I basically started learning drop shipping in 2017 to 2018. And that was just kind of like when the rise of YouTube videos started coming on, courses. So, I mean, I just kind of went full in, probably too much. Like I told in the last interview, we were dead broke, nothing, like you couldn't put $10 in the truck for gas, just kind of that level. But I just stuck with it, made it work. And that's almost like 7 years ago. So I've been doing it for a long time. But I was drop shipping from that time until about 2021, 22. And then I just wanted to make things simpler for my life and stop shipping from China. And that's kind of where I found ShineOn. And it was just like, I couldn't believe the margins. I couldn't believe the products. And then just shipping from Florida, that's where I just kind of like, that was my first introduction to ShineOn. I kind of was messing around with it here and there. And then just basically about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, I'm like, okay, I should probably just stick with this. It just makes your life really easy. And you guys have a great team to make it easy. And that's just kind of where I've just been right there. So
how much of your decision was motivated by like tariffs and those kinds of changes? The end of the de minimis exemption?
Yeah, a little for sure. I think you just, in the overall picture of like who I am, I don't really care to like hold inventory or buy inventory or take those kind of risks. Like I just personally, I like just to have minimal risk for everything I do. I've just always kind of been that way. So just even that was an added bonus of just like, okay, it's just perfect. ShineOn's just perfect for this. So it's just
that's awesome. And how long have you been selling with ShineOn?
This is like pretty much my first consistent full year, but I started, I think even with Etsy in like 2022, maybe the later end of it, before I got banned from there because of the app problem. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, sorry about that, man. All of us got blasted. Yeah, very cool. So when was your first ShineOn sale?
I think it was Etsy in around 2022.
It was Etsy.
Yeah, just kind of, I did Etsy the same thing when I was learning drop shipping, and then I just figured that was a great way to test it and just print on demand, and Etsy is awesome. So I just started there.
And remind me, does your wife help you with this?
She does a little. She actually is a graphic designer, and she has her own business on Etsy, more in like the wedding niche of like templates, right, for weddings and birthdays and stuff. But
that's right. I remember that now.
So, I mean, we bounce ideas off, but it's mostly she kind of has that. And then she helps with the little stuff with the design work and whatever when she can. But mostly she just stays on there, just in her space.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. We just did it together, just trying to find our paths. We're different. She's a creative and I'm more of an analytical person. So it's just.
Well, yin and yang. I mean, maybe you guys balance each other out.
Sometimes bringing into some headlines.
Yeah. Sometimes it's friction, right?
Yeah.
That's funny. So, how did you find the transition from drop shipping into ShineOn's print on demand stuff? Was it difficult to make the jump?
Not really, because basically when you drop ship from China, even at scale, it was a nightmare. The problems I had just were bad quality products. I don't know how many times I had a bad quality product. Even when I thought it would look decent or whatever, it was just bad. Shipping times are awful. People complained from China. And then kind of around, if you were in Facebook ads around 2020-ish, they rolled out the feedback score. And that basically just killed my operations just because, if you were out of 1 to 5, I think under 2, they would just shut your page down. And then they eventually ended up banning my Facebook profile itself. So just, the transition to ShineOn has been awesome just because, you guys have fast shipping, Florida. It's hard to compete with that. And especially at scale, it's just hard to compete with that.
Dude, I'm the CEO of the company. I'm admittedly very, very biased. But it's hard to overstate the incredible opportunity that I feel like ShineOn gives people. It's like, I really do believe that like this is the best time in the history of the world to be an entrepreneur. Never before have you had the opportunities and the reach that like we have now with the internet and like companies like ShineOn. You literally get to take an idea that's just in your head. You get to use free software like Canva, put it on a product that you've never seen before, sell that product to people that you've never met. And then you don't have to ship it. You don't have to pack it. You don't have to do any of that stuff. And it's like it's magic. It shouldn't exist. And it does. It's just, to me, it's just, when you really step back and look at it, it's a miracle, dude. It's a miracle.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically why I came to ShineOn. Print on demand is for my personality too. Like I said, you can just crank out products, right? And if it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, you didn't have to buy, even like if you're just talking shirts, you didn't have to buy 1,000 shirts of something that could go horribly wrong. And then, oh, this design didn't work, on to the next. And I think that's just, like you said, it's the opportunities there, and it's kind of always been there. And especially now, back when I started, you had to buy $1,000 course. There was no free content really.
Yeah.
And that was tough for like when I was starting out. But now, I mean, people have full courses on YouTube. I know ShineOn has courses. The time is now. It's great. It's honestly wonderful.
Well, and then also, the product, especially the jewelry stuff in particular. And we have a lot of items in our catalog, which are great for upsells, downsells, post-purchase, and then cross-selling downstream for like repeat purchases later, like after you've acquired a customer. We've got a bunch of stuff in the catalog that's great for that. But the jewelry is a hero product, and the margins are incredible. It's like 3 to 5x margins. It's insane.
Yeah. And then like I said, I haven't seen anyone that can compete with that. It's hard. It's a no-brainer almost.
We're just so spoiled. But anyway, okay, I digress. Okay. So you made the transition from drop shipping into print on demand. Let's go back to like the early days when you were kind of figuring ShineOn out. Now I know you brought a lot of experience to the table, right? So like you aren't going through exactly what newbies go through, right? But you're still, there's still a bit of a learning curve because you have to figure out like the designs and the phrases and kind of like what works and what resonates with the niche. And you have to figure out like how to build a brand that wasn't going to scare people away. Can you get into some of that?
Yeah. So that's why I started with ShineOn on Etsy, just because I knew that, if you could just pump out products right on Etsy, 1 or 2 will be found. Even if you don't run that crazy of ad budget on Etsy, you can start testing right there. And that's what I did. I didn't even open a Shopify store or anything. I just threw designs, phrases, even the necklaces. I was testing necklaces, right? And then even low budget, I think when you first sign up for Etsy, I think they cap you at like even $5 a day, right? For a while. And then you just see what the market takes of your designs and your message cards and everything. And then you can just start collecting these little data points, right? So I probably had, to start probably 100 designs, and maybe like 5 or 10 were working. And so I said, okay,
all on Etsy?
Yeah, this was all Etsy. So then you can just kind of look at those data points of like, okay, is it the design? Is it like the background color? Is it the font, right? And you just kind of expand on those and trying to find that sweet point of what's going to make the customer buy. And you just kind of roll off that. You don't have to go 0 to 100 crazy, but just a little data here and there. I'm sure a lot of people have had, even if you had one sale, okay, well, now you can analyze that. Was it the message? Let's expand on the color. You can just kind of get your data set from a few sales even. And that's what I did.
And what have you learned about like the type of phrases, for example, that work?
The phrases really, if you look, a lot of recycled, but I think mostly it's just if you can just make it like almost like a 20 to 30 second, in my opinion, 20 to 30 seconds of someone speaking the phrase, that's what is like the sweet spot, I would say. And it's just maybe a little rhyming here and there, but for the most part, it's pretty much the same.
So I was doing this really comprehensive phrase analysis, and I will be releasing it in the form of a lead magnet here to the community soon. And I basically looked at every top selling phrase we've had going back to 2020. So thousands of phrases, and literally it's like the top 20 to 30 phrases are responsible for like 80% of the revenue. And I think this probably exists in all of print on demand.
Yeah.
And they're just recycled over and over again. And when I release this lead magnet, everybody's going to go, oh, well, crap. This is the conclusion. You're going to go, well, I knew about this phrase. Everyone's going to have that reaction because it's the stuff that you've read over and over again so many times that you're numb to it that's still driving most of the sales.
Yeah.
So it was pretty revealing. So what you said that, you had Etsy up, you had like 100 products, you were looking at the 10 that worked and you noticed the commonalities and the patterns, right? Can you share some of those? What are some things that you kind of saw repeatedly that tend to work kind of over and over?
Well, for me, it was just the more simple designs, to be honest. I think we can get confused sometimes and overwhelmed with like, oh, I need graphics and I need crazy backgrounds and florals or whatever. And what kind of just worked for me, it was just simple stuff. And it was, again, those phrases, right, that really sold to the customer. And I think even today when I see things, I'm like, okay, I think this is either this design's ugly or crazy, but for the most part, I swear people are really, it's what that message brings to your heart. And I think that is what really sells. So it's kind of just saw like, okay, maybe let's do less of the design work and more about trying to find the right phrase, the right emotional touch point, right, for the person. So that's kind of what I found just to be a common thing for me.
Absolutely. If they feel anything, they're going to be more likely to buy.
I always say, if they cry, they buy, like you said. I just try to put that in my head, right? And that's true. It's true.
Yeah. It's just one of those fundamentals that when you get into this, you start to forget, but it drives the whole business, in my opinion. Yeah. All right. So you had Etsy, and then at some point you made the shift over to Shopify. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So I was actually scaling pretty well for Etsy at the time. And then they rolled out that change, right, to knock off the drop shippers or whatever. And then I basically just took my winning products from Etsy and then just try to figure out how to market them for Shopify. And then that's just kind of where I've been. But again, like, it started with Etsy, and that's where I found my winners at that time, 2023-ish. And then I just, did my marketing thing and content thing and just kind of went from there.
I wonder how many people quit when that happened and you kind of stuck with it.
It was definitely frustrating for sure, because, that's like, Etsy was awesome. Like, right. Like, people trust Etsy. That's a perfect Etsy product. And I'm still like in shock that they took it down. It's crazy. But, the one thing I've learned with e-com is there's always hiccups. There's always problems. I've had so many, but you just have to pivot. Okay, this is the situation. This is what it is. We'll have to figure it out. And
that's just being an entrepreneur.
Exactly.
You just solve one problem after another until you die. It's the whole bit. Yeah. The thing that kills me is that there's still tons of message card jewelry on Etsy.
Oh yeah. I know. It makes no sense. And then, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. So you move over to Shopify and you're starting to figure it out with paid stuff. Tell us about that a little bit.
So, I almost test every video or every content that's made for my brand, even at like, and we can go into this later, just for even people that are just starting out with Facebook ads and stuff. You don't have to spend crazy amounts of money to test. I still don't. You can have basically one piece of content or one ad that you made or whatever, and you can put $5 behind it and get data. It's not.
Would you be comfortable telling us about like your campaign setup?
Yeah, I figured we would do that today. So
yeah, here, let me, I'm going to draw it so everyone gets kind of a visual here. So let's see here. What do you guys see? There we go. All right. So what does this look like? So you have the campaign at the top level, right?
Yeah, we'll just start out simple because I think sure. the topic of us scaling, right? This is how I've scaled many times. And even my first time I ever scaled, this was kind of the same method, right?
Can we talk about your testing strategy first?
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Because you were saying that like you test with low budgets. And yeah. I think, there are a lot of newbies here and their ears are they perked up when you said that. So how do you test with a low budget?
Okay, so let's just say you have one ad you made, right? So you would start with, the campaign, and I would just do an ABO or just like a regular ad set, not CBO.
Okay.
So just ABO, simple, just one ad set, right? And you can, depending on, let's just say it's to the daughter, right? Okay. So then you could I just do USA because that's the majority of people that will be buying. So you can collect data a little better. And then, so you can do, sometimes I leave the age range, just leave it open for Facebook, or for like daughter. If you really want to narrow down, probably 25 to 65 plus.
And for everybody listening that's missing this, you're selling to the parent, not the daughter, right? That's
Sorry,
why you're targeting people that potentially have a daughter. That's why you're looking at 25 to upwards of 65. You need to do any other targeting?
No,
Male,
I
female?
basically let Facebook do its thing. As I just leave everything open. I don't do interests. I just kind of let it. The
Okay.
algorithm's gotten so good, and you can basically just let it run, right?
Okay.
And then that ABO would just be $5. Let's say $5.
Okay. $5 a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you would just have
Just one ad. So this is one product. This is your setup. And how long do you let this run?
Basically 1 day. You can kind of see the data. For at least for me, I'm pretty quick to judge. So like I'll give you some metrics that I would cut it or leave it.
You let this run for a day?
Yeah. I mean, it's only $5, right? So
I just can't believe you only let it run for a day.
oh no, I'm saying there's criteria. If it goes well, then I'll leave it, keep it going. If not, I'll
okay. What's your criteria?
Okay, so if you let it run for the full $5, if the click's over $3, I'll cut it.
Okay, so CPC over $3.
Yeah, and then that's basically like if you were just pretty much stuck with that, that's fine because from what I've noticed, you're not gonna.
So simple.
Yeah, you're not gonna. If something's taking over $3 a click, it's probably not a winning ad or not even a decent ad, right?
Dude,
So
you're a freaking animal. All right, so what about determining if it's like a winner?
well, okay, so basically you got to think of your margins. We'll say we're doing like ShineOn jewelry, right? And if you're selling something for $50, you're probably can let it spend maybe to $30 without a sale, right? So I'm kind of looking for at least a break even sale, if that makes sense.
Something like that.
And then based on, so say that $5 spends and your cost per click's $1, $1.50, then I'll let it run again for another day and kind of see what the data says on the 2 days. And then I'll let it run again. And then say you have a purchase. Okay. Well, maybe your purchase is like $15 per purchase. That's great. Then I'll just double that $5 to $10.
So so you scale if you get one purchase
Under that break even limit, if that makes sense.
Yep. If you get one purchase for break even, then you scale by doubling the budget.
Yeah. And I'll just leave it. So say you're at $10 now, I'll just leave it going and you'll watch the data, right? And then if it's still the cost per click's over 3, then you cut it. And then basically you're looking for sales at $10 to be still break even, right?
Well, no, it would be
after a couple days spent. So say
so hang on, let's make sure I got this right. So let's say you're selling the item for $50.
Right.
And your base cost is 10. So you have $40 of margin. So you're trying to make one sale for $40 or less.
Pretty much, yeah.
And if you can make a sale for $40 or less, you scale it.
I'll double it from 5 to 10. Yeah.
Yeah. So if one purchase for $40 or less, then 2x ad spend. And I assume this is like a rinse and repeat kind of thing.
Yeah. And then if you can get consistent sales, say at $10 a day that you start to notice like a week goes by, then that's when I move to the next phase of I'll take that ad and throw it into a CBO ad.
So if
you can get consistent sales, say at $10 a day and you're still making money, then I'll throw it into a CBO.
And this is for scaling, which we're going to get to.
Yeah. And when you're done. Yeah.
Because this is all Facebook.
Yeah. So the methodology to me is, okay, you start at $5 a day, load testing. You're not taking huge risks. And a lot of people don't even really have that much money to test with. If you're just starting out, I know how that goes. Cause when I was first starting, $5 a day for me was like, my heart was pounding. Right. So it's just an easy way to kind of get your foot in the game. So you're basically letting Facebook take a low budget and see if it can kind of get you a sale. Right. And if you can, then that's a good sign. So basically,
Absolutely.
So you want to basically, so you're at $10 a day now and you're still getting sales. That's when I move it to the CBO, because when you start to scale your CBO, that ad in the CBO should be a winner, or the CBO will tell you if it's scalable or not. That's the point.
So real quick, before we get too deep in the CBO, let's talk about this ad here. Is this image or video?
It could be either or. I've done both, and it's up to you, really. I guess.
So for testing, what do you normally make videos for testing?
I do. Yeah, more videos for testing for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
So prefers video. Can you tell us what the video is? Like, what's it look like? What kind of video do you make?
I have a few just kind of different styles, but really it's just kind of like I talked about in the last interview. It's like trying to find like everything's psychology with e-com, right? So when you got to think of people scrolling, and your first 3 seconds of your hook of the video need to really grab attention. And then I don't know, I've seen so many different things work, but I would say that's like your number one step is first 3 seconds. And then you could basically open up your product and then read the message card. I mean, it really could be that simple, right? Just because, again, from my experience, it's the message that really sells.
Do you shoot your own video of the box opening and the message card?
Yes.
And do you just read it out loud, or do you use
AI read it sometimes? Sometimes I've tested just myself reading it too. It's hit or miss.
What tool do you use to read it?
It's 11labs.io, I think.
I know 11 Labs. It's 11 Labs. Dude, this is great, man. This is awesome, dude. You're dropping a ton of value here.
I think I mean, I still kind of use this method just because it's what I just figured out that works, I guess, almost for this niche, right, of a product where you can do these low budget tests just to kind of see like where your ad stands, right? And then, like I said, okay, when you move it to the CBO, you'll probably do it at $50 a day, a little higher budget, right?
Yeah, I guess let's start talking about that. So This is testing. Now we're going to get into scaling. And so here, I'm just going to copy that over just to make this easy. So this is, hopefully everybody can see this. I'm trying to make it big. So this is a CBO campaign.
Yes.
And how much did you say?
Just start it.
Okay, 50 a day. So the only products that make it to this, just so everybody listens, are those that are maintaining consistent sales at $10 a day ad spend.
Right. And
so you're basically getting one sale every 4 days.
Yeah. And if it's a good ad, you'll see that it might be 2 or 3, right? Just the idea behind that is that you're taking a higher, relative setup of $5 a day. And now you've picked your winner, or Facebook's giving you some data on this might be a winner. And then you move it to the CBO because that will determine if it's truly a winner that you can scale or it's not. And that gets you to the next step closer to scale.
Yes. Okay, cool. So $50 a day, CBO. Anything else at the campaign level?
It's the same as what you're testing. So it'd be the exact same one as the ad set.
And then the ad set is because you're no longer using ABO.
Right.
It's CBO now. So do you do any changes to the targeting on the ad set?
Nope, you just leave it the same.
All right, so maybe I shouldn't have totally deleted all that. Okay, here, so daughter, USA, all that looks good.
Yep, the same.
Checks out. All right, tell us about the ads.
So it would just be that one ad you pulled over from the ABO testing.
So, okay, when you do this, are you going to the ad level and then moving or duplicating the ad, or are you like kind of starting from scratch and creating the campaign, then the ad set, and then like the ad from scratch as well?
No, it's almost like you're just like, so like you would copy that Facebook ad ID, right? And put
you're
Yeah,
you're doing the ad ID.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Okay, got it.
The same exact ad. You just moved it.
Okay.
So duplicated it into the new CBO.
Well, so it's like sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I'm tracking. You create the CBO, create the ad set. Then when you get to the ad, you go grab the ad ID.
Yep.
And you just paste it in, and that's how you make it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're basically taking your potential scaling ad, and if CBO at $50 a day can prove, again, worthy of making sales, and then it's kind of the same. You would just use that one CBO and you can double the budget, double it again, and then you just kind of find that breaking point, right? That maybe at $200 a day, it's kind of break even or make a little money. But again, it depends on your ad, because you can go from $50 a day to 100. And sometimes when I'm scaling, 5,000, right? It depends on the ad. But the whole point of the CBO is to determine from Facebook how successful that ad can be. So like I have, for example, some CBOs, they can't go over $200 just because they'll lose money or whatever, but I can keep them on at $100 and they'll consistently make money, if that makes sense.
So, yeah. It totally does. So you create this. It's the same ad ID from testing. Do you ever like just add more ads in here, or is it always like one campaign, one ad set, one ad?
I do, and that's where you're testing your other ABOs. So say you have another daughter ad that's doing really well, then I'll put it into that CBO.
Okay, so but it's got to be the same product, I take it.
It's the same product niche. I guess I separate.
Just the same niche.
Same niche, yeah. Sorry. So you would have like.
Okay, so I'm tracking. So this campaign is for the niche.
Right. So you're to my daughter niche campaign right here.
And do you throw them under the same ad set or just the same campaign?
It would just be for the CBO or the ABO?
The CBO.
Yeah. So it's the same ad set. You just put the new ad in there.
Got it. So here's what. So I'm gonna have to help some people. Are gonna get lost. So this is like daughter, right? And it's kind of like, all right. So here's what Nate's doing. Nate has a CBO campaign. Then he has one ad set in the CBO campaign for the daughter niche. And then anytime he is going through his testing process over here, and he has a daughter product that works, he moves that ad into this CBO campaign. So this CBO campaign in this daughter ad set could potentially have 4 or 5 different ads underneath it.
Right.
And all like it could be 4 or 5 different products, right? But they're all in the daughter niche. That's what they have in common. I'm tracking with you on that. So here's a question. What if you have like the wife niche going on at the same time? Is that in a different campaign?
That's a different CBO, yes.
Yeah, okay. So it's one CBO campaign, right? But then it's all successful daughter tests. Change that to niche for now. Niche tests live in this ad set.
And then you'll just have your winning ads all in the same ad.
Yeah. So it's like winning ads only. Dude, this is pretty cool. It's crazy how many ways there are up the mountain here.
I think it helps me just because there's so many niches, right, for these products, you can kind of get all over the place. But just what I was saying is like the ABO testing, the $5 is like your little, it's almost like you have to look at it like it's your little army guys, right? These are your just ads of little army guys. And then you have to figure out, which ones perform the best. And then that's when you move them to the bigger side, right? So it's just kind of how I've viewed what's worked best for me, I guess.
Dude, I think this is super clever, the way you're doing this. So
that way too, you're not spending $100 a day on one product that might not work. Basically, all my winners, I've done the same kind of process where I don't need to spend. I can spend $20 and say, okay, here's some data, right? I didn't spend $200 or whatever. You should be able to collect that pretty quickly, even after $15 spend or whatever.
Yeah, this is awesome, dude. It's super low budget.
Yeah.
It's really not that difficult. I'm sure that there are people listening to this right now and they're like, what in the hell are these guys talking about? Just you rewatch it, go slow. CBO stands for campaign budget optimization. ABO stands for ad set budget optimization. It's really about how Facebook allocates your ad spend. And it just gives you, it's 2 different mechanisms of control over your ad spend. Go Google that. There's tons of material on it. It's not that hard to understand. CBO versus ABO. Read one article, you'll totally get that. Dude, this is not that difficult. So what I'm curious about now, though, is on the creative side. So when you're scaling, and let's say you have one product working for you, like, do you just sit there and start testing a bunch of creatives on that product to see if you have any other creatives that will pop off that you can move into your CBO campaign to like increase your purchases? Or like, how do you think about that?
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. And then the reason why I start an ABO instead of just throwing everything into a CBO is because you'll find, so Facebook with CBO campaigns, they want to push what they, in their mind, is the best ad. So say you could have 5 or 10 ads in a CBO, but it'll spend 95% of the money
Mm-hmm.
on one. So you're kind of missing the sales.
You're not getting good tests.
You're not seeing like some of these other ads that could get sales because it's still allocating to what Facebook thinks is the best. So for like, say I have a daughter in the CBO working, I'll still throw more into this ABO testing of the same, just so I can get the data on maybe there's something else that I can.
Does it go in the same campaign, or do you make a new campaign for that?
It depends on maybe the product, I guess.
So if it's the same product, you might be.
Oh no, sorry. It would be a different ad set and then one ad. Sorry.
In the same campaign, but a different ad set?
It's the same campaign, different ad sets. So you could have like a row of 10 ad sets because that'd be 10 ads.
Because it's all the same product.
Yeah.
Or is it the same niche on the testing?
Same niche. Sorry, same.
Yeah. Niche. So everybody's tracking. Basically, the methodology Nate's using here, where here he's using one niche per CBO. And so this entire CBO will be dedicated to daughter. And then each of the ads would be corresponding to like a daughter product, right?
Right.
Over here, you kind of using the same methodology, only it's at the ad set level.
Yeah.
Because that's where the budget is. So you have a daughter campaign, and then any new daughter product you test goes inside the same ABO campaign.
Right. So you would just, duplicate the ad set, and then so you could have 10 ad sets, and then there'd be 10 ads because each one gets its own $5 spend.
Yeah, let me see if I can.
I know it sounds complicated, but
it's really not. It's just
when you just kind of think about it, I guess.
Yeah, I really don't think it is that complicated. This is pretty simple. It's basically like this, right? These are all your new tests. New ads. I'm sorry. Is it new ad sets or new ads for the new tests?
It's new ad sets and new ads. So
Got it.
So you're enabling Facebook to spend $5 on each ad you make to collect the data.
So it is new ad sets. Yep. Easy peasy.
Yeah. You'll just have an army of ad sets with the ads in them.
Yeah. And each ad has got its own.
Yeah.
Something like that. So this is like, it's really over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like really right here. And then the campaign just keeps collecting data.
Yeah. And then, like I said, you move the promising ads to the CBO and then let Facebook do its thing. And then you'll get more data too, if you have to cut it or double the budget or whatever,
Yeah. So, and your niche really is at this level, one niche.
Yeah.
Because if you test a different niche, you'll make a different campaign.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So look, there's some people are going to be reading this and you're going to get it. You're going to go, I get it. Some of you are going to be on here and you're like, this might be too difficult for me. Maybe I should quit. Right? Don't quit. I'm telling you, this is actually not that difficult. This isn't that difficult. It just seems that way because it's probably a little abstract for you right now. But once you start creating ads, I'm telling you, this is going to click pretty easy. Everything we're talking about here is going to make a lot of sense. So this basically allows you to test products for essentially $5.
Right.
Now, I have a question for you real quick. So your account is probably decently seasoned, like your ad account. You've collected a lot of data. You've spent a lot of money. Is this how you, like if you were starting all the way over, new business manager, new ad account, and you were testing, is this how you would do it?
For sure. I think that's even better too for you, because I think Facebook hates when people open up new ad accounts and go 0 to 100, right? If you just, this is basically warming it up, and I still just do this, so.
Excellent. This is pretty cool. What questions you guys have in the comments? Think of some questions and let's drop them in. We'll pull them up.
Yeah. So I just want to expand on it just one more time.
Sure, no problem.
Well, for like the ABO, right? So you might notice your ad gets sales at $10 a day, but the moment you put it into the CBO, it doesn't work at even $50 a day. What that's telling you is basically it's not a scalable ad, right? So you figured that out. But what I do is, if that's still running $10 a day and making you money, just leave it. It's almost like Facebook says, okay, at $10 a day, we can get you sales. That's the type of ad it is. And you can make a little money there. I still have some that I just leave on that I can't scale, but they'll still bring in a few sales. So, it's even just a benefit, I think, that way too.
Yep, that makes a ton of sense. And by the way, like obviously you're profitable by leaving it in the test campaign. So you'll make, a couple bucks per sale depending on, how it's doing, but also like you're collecting data. That's super important. Is like the more sales you can get even at break even, sometimes the better because it's going to season your account and it's going to help the Facebook algorithm optimize for your ideal buyer. So
Yeah.
like those break even sales are not always bad.
Oh no, if you can even lose a little, and I mean not a lot, but if you can lose a little, then that's a lot of data to collect too when you're making sales, but still not
Yeah,
profit.
this is that classic reframe where it's like you're not losing money, you're buying data.
Right.
Data has a value to it. And like you need to get that through your mind if you're going to be in the Facebook game.
And
right?
this is such a low testing too way. I think it just, for a lot of people starting out, I think you can't really beat this kind of method. I don't know.
Dude, I love this. I seriously like this is it's clever. I haven't quite seen a setup like this yet, but there's just so many ways up the mountain. Like on this
Yeah,
stuff. It's just
I've tried a lot of things, but I think again it depends on your products and your niche. And I know one of my buddies does supplements, and he couldn't do it this way, right? He has to do a different kind of campaign structure. But just from what I've seen in the kind of niche we're in, I think this is what I've come back to again. I don't know.
so once you have something over here and it's really working for you, do you just constantly test new creatives to keep feeding the algorithm something new and to keep like
Yeah, you do, but you'll still find the problems of like, the CBO will still spend the majority of your money on the one that's gonna work the best. So it's like kind of like waiting for that to maybe have ad fatigue before you turn it off. But really, some of these creatives, and just because in the niche we are like gift giving, some of these you can run for 6 months, 1 year, even some more. You might have to scale down the budget, but I mean it's pretty.
yeah, I guess that's an important detail. You just slide this budget around accordingly, huh?
Yeah,
It's
and
doing
then
great. You bump it up.
yeah, that's it. I mean, that's what if you could get sales at $50 a day, bump it up to 100. If you're still profitable, bump it up to 200, and you just kind of do that progression. And
And
like
if it stops being profitable, you just take it down.
yeah, you can lower it down, and then if it doesn't work, then you turn it off. And like I said, I've gotten some of these campaigns to over 10,000 spend sometimes just doing this method of trying to find the best ad.
Do you ever run two of these side by side in an effort to like get Facebook to spend more money profitably?
I mean, like two CBOs of like the daughter niche, or
Yeah, like just duplicate once you have it loaded up with some winning ads, just freaking duping it and seeing how it does.
oh, I used to do that, but I feel like nowadays it's just like you just have the one and let that go, because I used to do that where you would duplicate the CBOs, but I feel like kind of that's out the window now. I could be wrong, but I just come back.
I know because I don't know why I like want to hack stuff.
Yeah.
I try to dupe 100 of these and then only keep the best performing ones on.
Yeah, I used to do that where like even you would duplicate the ad set in the CBO 5 or 10 times, but from what I've seen and just kind of seen how people are scaling
It's not
now,
working.
it's almost like Facebook's gotten so well at like just making it the more simple you are, the better. And I also think for like your mindset too, it just focuses on what really matters, and it's the ad, right? If you have a good ad, it will scale, like it will scale, and you only need the one CBO, one ad set. It's gotten that easy.
Yeah. I will say, I think you're onto something. Facebook's objective is to make it so that like the plumber that like can barely send an email can turn an ad on and it works.
Yeah.
So like they don't want that. They're not probably going out of their way to make it so the hacking methods don't work, but they're optimizing the entire system towards the simple stuff working. And I think probably what we're seeing is like they're just getting better at that.
Yeah, which I swear people don't even do interest anymore. They just
they
just run
creative does it.
18 to 65 men and women for like every product, every niche. They just let Facebook do its thing.
Okay, so with it doesn't sound like you really go crazy with creatives.
Well, I mean, I think you just kind of your focus really is just finding the one that'll work, and that for a lot of people, if you can just find one that can ride you for a lot of money. It might be 5,000 in revenue, 10,000, a million, whatever, but it's kind of more like the focus of just picking the one product, the one ad, and then just kind of making sure you can find something that's scalable and then go back to making new ads.
So let me ask you then, how do you look at just making more money? So let's say you find a winner this Q4 and you're scaling the winner up, right? And you hit some kind of ceiling with your method here. What do you do to make more money?
Well, then you would just need to find a different ad that can take that budget.
So you just start testing new creative.
Yeah, you just start creating more ads. And
so basically you ride a creative till you hit a ceiling.
Pretty
and then
much.
you start testing new creatives.
Yeah. So like right now I'll take some of the winners from the ABO and I'll just keep throwing them into the new CBO and see if it can take some of that ad spend and make some sales.
So ride winners until ceiling hit and then test new creatives. Got it. What else? We missing anything?
No, I think, I mean, it might seem like a lot, but really it's as simple as can be with Facebook ads. One campaign, one ad set, one ad, $5 a day, and you collect the data. I think that's pretty.
Dude, I hope everybody listening realizes how valuable this is. This is stuff people pay for coaching time for. People pay to consume this in a course. You're basically just giving us the goods for free.
This is the first product I ever scaled was this method because I had no money. I just had to do something like that. And then I just kind of figured like it still works today. So why not?
I hope everybody understands the value you're dropping here. It's incredible. All right, we're going to get to some Q&A here. And then I think maybe we'll move to wrap it up unless you have any other bombs you want to drop on us. Yep. So first, this person says, I don't understand any of the lingo. So a couple things. We're talking about Facebook ads. Inside of Facebook, you have something called a business manager and ad accounts. This is where you run all of your ads, basically. When we talk about campaigns or ad sets, you can almost think of those like folders, right? And inside of those folders are your ads, right? The acronyms you're hearing, CBO stands for campaign budget optimization. So this is like the top level folder. ABO stands for ad set budget optimization. This would be like the folder in the middle. And then ads would belong in the folder at the very bottom. So you think about it kind of in a nested fashion. We're talking about budgets because with CBOs, you set the budget at the campaign level. With ABOs or ad set budget optimization, you set the campaign at the ad set level. Creatives are just different ads. So you have image ads, you have video ads. UGC stands for user generated content. We talked about CPC, which stands for cost per click. So that's what you pay for somebody to click on the ad. We talked about CPP, which stands for cost per purchase. That's what you pay per purchase, right? If you have an ad that's working. We talked about interest targeting. So at the ad set level inside of Facebook, you can define interest that Facebook will use for its targeting. What I'd encourage you to do, listen to this. Anytime you get stuck, just go to ChatGPT and ask it what the lingo means. ChatGPT is going to be able to help you out pretty easy, but don't let the fact you don't understand the lingo scare you away. Look, it's skills that pay the bills. The more you learn, the more you earn, right? Don't be afraid of this. These are the problems you need to solve to go from your current level of success to the level of success you want to reach, right? These are the things you need to learn to bridge that gap. So don't shy away from this. Lean into it. I encourage you.
Can I just add one more point?
Absolutely.
Really, it's a quick YouTube search away how to run a Facebook ad, and you can have it down in a day. It's really good. I think YouTube should be your learning machine, right? Just type in Facebook or YouTube how to run a Facebook ad. There's free content galore, and you'll have it in 10 minutes.
Yes, 1,000% on that. 1,000%. All right, let's get to some other questions here. Here's one. When you move over the ad set to start with $5 a day or the money amount, I can't make heads or tails of that. Sorry, Gilda. Try again on the question, and we'll try to answer. Do you have any pattern for successful image ads for testing? Do you go with simple mock-ups or add some extra text or something else?
And really, I just kind of stick with the ShineOn mockups, to be honest. Like you can kind of move it around in Canva to maybe bring it closer or anything. But I've tested, I've seen a lot of people, she cried reading this or whatever. And kind of, I found that just leaving it blank works better for me, at least. But yeah, nothing crazy. You can even, ShineOn has great mockups, and you just maybe zoom it in a little, zoom it out, depending on, where the text is on the card and everything, but that's pretty simple.
Do you have any mock-ups that are your favorite for testing?
There's a few. I think the Alluring Beauty has some good close-up ones with the cardboard box and also the luxury box. It's just more about like getting it to where someone can read it right away.
It basically, you just want it really big.
Really, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. How about for a new ad account with a new pixel? For sure, would it be high CPMs? Is $5 enough for testing with super high CPMs? And what's your fix if CPMs are high?
From my experience right now, you can have $5 a day and have CPMs of under 10, easy. Anything kind of over 15 CPM, it's okay. But again, is it getting clicks? Is it getting sales? And anything over 20, I pretty much cut.
The issue is when you have a new ad account now, the CPMs are juiced. They're super high.
I don't know, just because I haven't had to deal with that for a while.
But no, I've seen $25.
Yeah.
Like they're really high in the beginning. Unfortunately, you kind of have to pay to play in the beginning. Until Facebook knows they can trust you and that you're going to pay on time and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you get charged for it.
Maybe that $5 testing is better. I don't know if you could blow through $50 quickly, but I think the chances of you finding a better winning ad at $5 a day with high CPMs is better, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is pretty true that in the beginning it's very hard now. Well, shouldn't say it's very hard. You kind of got to be aware of that until Facebook can trust you and you've had a couple purchases and customers were happy and Facebook knows that they can trust sending traffic from their platform to your site.
It's just part of the business, really. Yeah. We all go through it.
Absolutely. All right. How about for new ad account with a new pick? Oh, wait, did we just do that one? We just did that one. What about Advantage Plus enhancements for the ads? Do you leave them on or off?
I usually turn everything off, to be honest. I just
old school.
When I test music, even with like still images, I feel like it can really skew the data on how someone might perceive something, right? So if they can cry from a message card without music, then I think I'm onto something better than testing. You could test so many different musics, and it could just. I try to keep it simple. Yeah.
Yep. Keep the variables, fewer variables in the beginning. Yeah. I assume you turn off the test ad set and the original ad set. So basically, if this ad wins, do you turn off the ad set it was in when you move it to scale?
I leave it, actually.
So you leave it in the scaling.
I leave it in the testing and the CBO, because what you'll find out is, like, again, you're letting Facebook determine what ad spend per day will this ad perform well. And then you might move that winning ad from your testing to your CBO and find at $50 a day it flops, right? So then you're just back to square one. But I just leave it on just so it doesn't. Why turn it off? It's making you money. If you look at your data over the time it's been spending, it's still making money. And kind of that's my methodology of, like, you might get sales for this product at $10 a day and that's about it, but it'll still bring you sales, right? So why turn it off?
Yep, I totally agree with that. It makes a ton of sense. Let's see. Do you only check the CPC in the ABO campaign?
You'll see it in the CBO too. You'll see as you spend more money if it's really worth keeping or not. So it's kind of the same.
Well, basically, don't let me put words in your mouth, but as soon as you have a purchase, you baseline all your decisions on cost per purchase.
Right.
The CPC is really just to look at before you have a purchase.
Right. And you'll kind of see if you can scale something. You're not, at least from my experience with ShineOn and products, anything still over $3 a click, you're probably not getting sales.
No. Unless, just remember, if you have a brand new everything and you're being charged with super high CPMs, you're going to have a high cost per click in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because your CPMs are so high. Unfortunately, this is just like a tax you have to pay for a little while until Facebook knows that they can trust you, right? And then those CPMs will slowly come down.
Yeah.
How many creatives do you test per week once you find a winner?
I probably test at least 5 or 10 a day. So, I mean, what is that, like 50?
Once you have a winner?
Yeah. I mean, if you have a winner, you don't know that threshold in a way of the CBO. So why you want to back it up? If you've proven that you can scale even, say, at $500 a day, then you have a winning product, right? Or something. So why not try to create something that can go even further?
So, okay, this is what I was trying to ask you about earlier. So you try to do 5 or 10 a day?
Yeah.
So 5 or 10 new ones a day? So you're making like 50 to 100 a week?
Yes.
Holy crap. How are you doing that at that scale?
And it could be just little things. It could be the same video, but a different caption or something like that. So technically, maybe not making 50 new pieces of content or ads. It just could be switching up.
Light tweaks?
Yeah, like little tweaks to find something that.
And you're doing all of that in like CapCut or something, like you're not using any of the Advantage Plus enhancements. So you're doing all of that like in CapCut or
Canva, yeah, something like that.
holy cow. I didn't know that it was so intense.
Yeah, I mean, just because you're just going through as many variables as you can to kind of see what resonates, and then that's why I do the low testing budget, because I can rip even at 10 creatives a day, $50. Okay, well, that's not too bad.
Well, and also, I think something to remember, guys, is you do this after you have something that's winning and scaling. So like your money, your ability to make more money is in testing new creatives once you have something that's scaling.
Right.
So don't get all exacerbated like, oh my gosh, it's so much. Trust me, as soon as the money's coming in and you're profitable, you're incentivized to go do this. You're gonna have fun while you do this because you know that doing it is going to help you make more money.
Yeah, but a lot of the times it is still, you're just still riding on the one ad. And I always try to tell people this, it really comes down to one product, one ad, and that can make a bunch of money for you. And that might be $1,000 extra in your pocket, which can be huge, right? Or 5,000 or 10,000. It doesn't need 100K or whatever, but it really, if you could just focus on one ad, one product, that can really help a lot of people.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. In your ad creative for headline and primary text, do you generate it with ChatGPT or do you find it in an ad library, or how do you do that?
For the ad creative,
I think he's talking about the headline and primary text for like an image ad.
I mean, I basically just go read some comments on TikTok or something about a daughter. Like, type in daughter. I'm sure there's viral videos of someone having a special moment with their daughter, and kind of see what people are saying, and then you can kind of pick something out of those comments, and then you can test it. Yeah, like with an image bar or whatever, just kind of like that. But I just try to keep it simple, so I don't even ask ChatGPT. I just, I wanted to bring this up. I have a daughter now and a son, and I'm trying to get away almost from like just speed writing message cards or something, and just sit down. I know a lot of people have children or your mom or your dad, and write something that might make you cry, right? And then trying to go off of that, because if it can do that for you, then it can do it for someone else.
And so what about at the ad level, you have the headline text and you have the actual so we're not even really talking about the ad, the image. We're talking about the text above.
You mean like they would see right away? Like
when you're scrolling Facebook, when you see it.
Oh, I usually just keep one line or two.
Like what?
This is a great gift for your mom. And it really, I feel like people don't even read it. I mean, it's like, I guess you can test all these things, but from my experience, it's just your ad, really. And surprise your wife with a meaningful gift. There you go. Something like that.
Yeah. I always used to put imagine the look on her face when she opens this.
And I haven't tested it enough, but I just try to focus on the ads, and that's
the ad is what does 90% of the heavy lifting, probably more. Let's see. What's the minimum per day budget you'd recommend?
Well, it just depends on how many of those testing ads you're going to do.
Yeah, it sounds like he's $5 for testing and 50 for scaling, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, it just depends on how many ads you want to try out.
What's your AOV?
Right now it's about 70-ish.
Very nice.
I'm trying to bump it up.
Let's chat, because I know someone that very consistently gets views over $100. It's just mind blowing. So maybe we'll help you out.
So, yeah, that'd be great. And I definitely get some of those bigger orders, but I don't know if it's just some of the niches I'm hitting, like where they're capped at a certain amount of money, the customer. The
way I've seen it work in the past is so first of all, it is kind of seasonal. The closer you get to Christmas, the more urgency and desperate people get for the gifts. And it's about having like really strategic upsells through the whole funnel. Like having the gift wrap, having rush processing, having shipping protection, all those things, they really add up. We can chat about that. All right. When testing, do you have 5 versions of headlines, primary text? It sounds like you just use the same one. Same headlines.
Just to keep it simple and constant. Where
do you lead with any of that? 50% off today only is the headline text.
Sometimes I feel like it's it's hit or miss. I just can't collect the data on if that makes a difference or not.
Yeah, totally. Well, dude, that kind of gets us through all the questions here, man. This was awesome. Like, people may not realize it. You just dropped a ton of freaking value. Like, this is an entire game plan for Q4 right here. It's literally just up to you to go do your research, make the message cards, and then test. Literally test with this blueprint.
And like I said, that's how I scaled my first product in 2018, when I had literally $5 a day testing was like, it killed me. So it just kind of, you wake up and there's some few sales and you say, okay, let's try to move it to the next phase. So
this is great. Guys, when I started, I was testing with $50 a product, $50 a product. And you are testing for sometimes as low as $5, because if that CPC doesn't hit your KPI, you just kill it.
Yeah, and then if you have a winning ad, you'll know.
Oh yeah, this is something else people don't get. That like, it's the product that drives the success of the campaign, not the ads. 1,000%. If you have a shitty product, no amount of ad kung fu is really going to save it, right? And if you have a great product, almost no amount of ad kung fu will kill it, right? You almost can't mess it up. This is why the analogy I've always used is like, when you really hit a winning product, it's like whale fishing, right? Imagine being on a boat and you have like a rod and a reel in your hand and you catch a whale. Are you going to know you caught a whale? Or are you going to be guessing when you try to reel it in? No, you freaking know. You'll know, right? When you land a winning product, it takes you for a ride, right? You constantly feel like you're trying to catch up to it, right? And you constantly feel like you're a day behind. Tell me that's not true.
Yeah,
right?
You'll know. Yeah.
You feel a sense of urgency, because when you have a winning product, you're like, I'm leaving money on the table by not testing more creatives, right? You constantly feel like you're just trying to catch up to it. So it's exhilarating when you hit one of those. Do you have anything else you'd like to share, or any other tips, or anything you want to drop before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I would just say Q4 is like a lifetime, another opportunity of a lifetime. And I still have to try to remind myself too, like, this is the time where you should do the work, because it's the easiest time to get a sale, right? And then I just would like to say, like, don't compare your Q4 to someone else's. We all start in the same spot, and if it's an extra $500 you made for the Q4 and that's awesome, then that's great, So don't try to compare your Q4, because we all have, our beginning curves, and YouTube is your best friend. If the Facebook stuff was complicated, just start watching YouTube videos on how to run Facebook ads, and you'll have it in a week if you really are serious. It's nothing crazy, and but this is the time now you want to start thinking about changing your life and
we might actually take this session and turn it into, like, document it somehow and share it with everybody, infographic or a PDF you can download or something. That way you can kind of go off of this. Also, I'm totally going to use that quote. Every Q4 is a new opportunity of a lifetime.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that. That's so true.
It's the most magical time of the year.
Oh my gosh, it is. I will tell you, I hated Christmas before I found ecom. And as soon as I went through a couple Christmases with ecom, I'm like, I'm changing my tune, man. When the Christmas carols come on at the store, put them on repeat. I don't care if I've heard it 1,000 times. This is magical, right? Because people are buying.
And especially the products ShineOn has. This is what it's made for.
Absolutely.
They're right there.
Well, dude, thanks so much, man. I really appreciate the time and the value you dropped here. For anybody listening, now is the time to wake up. If you're serious about the e-com, if you're serious about print on demand and like building your own kind of like business on the side, or whatever your goals are, now is the time to freaking wake up. We are literally 15 days away from the start of Q4, and you have no idea. Seriously, it's almost impossible to overstate the size of the opportunity as we move into this last part of the year. It's incredible when every single person that is in a family or in a relationship, when every single person in America is starting to think about buying gifts. It's mind-blowing how big that market is. It's mind-blowing, right? And there's enough for everybody. It's not like there's a pie and everybody's getting a slice of the pie and it's zero sum, right? And the pie gets smaller. No, we're all baking pies together here, right? And the more the more people out there selling the jewelry, the more we're waking people up going like, hey, this is the greeting card paired with the jewelry is the perfect gift. This Q4, the more we can create those kinds of trends, right? The bigger the pie gets for all of us, right? The real competition here is somebody going to Target or Walmart, right? And not buying their gift online. So I'm telling you, this is the most magical time of the year. Get in the game. Use this ad methodology that Nate just laid out for us. We'll try to put it into easy to follow lead magnet for you. This is the time to freaking rise up and shine, people. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. Do you have anything else you want to share?
I think I covered it mostly. It's just like, this e-com game, it's not easy, but it's really, it's like you said, it's the opportunity is there, and it might take you 6 months or a year, but once you get your grasp on it, I mean, your life can change. And the only people I see that can do that is they just don't quit after 6 months or a year, and they just, that's what they do. They figure it out. And I believe everyone can do it. Everyone, no matter what age you are or what your situation. And I just wish you the best, because I know it can really change your life, change your family's life. And, I just wish people would see that opportunity.
I love it, man. I love it. We'll end it there. Will you come back on this Q4?
Sure. Why not?
Awesome.
if everyone wants me on, sure. Why not?
Awesome, dude. Let's do it. Nate, thanks so much. Really appreciate you. Everybody else, stay tuned in the group. We'll try to put this into some kind of thing you can download. All right, everybody. Take care. Happy selling. Hope to see you on the leaderboard this Q4. Take care.
Thanks.